Hello, it's 23rd of January and that day is the publication day of my new book, The Light Hunters, and I'm Dan Walker. It's been published by UClan, who are a great little indie publisher who are up and coming. I thought it'd be nice because I always love it when authors read a little bit of their book, to read the first chapter of the book in kind of celebration of launch day. And it gives you guys a bit of a sense of what the book's about. So without further ado, we've got The Light Hunters, Chapter 1 by me. So if there's one thing I'm absolutely and utterly sure about, said Maya Murphy, ducking under her desk on the classroom floor, it's that Mr. Winter is a monster. If anyone's a monster around here, said Lux Dowd, it's you. Maya checked her watch. I mean, look at the time. She pushed the device up to Lux's face. Does that not say 5 to 3? Yes. And what time do we finish school? 3. And how long did the last monster drill take? Lux thought back to the previous time their teacher had got them to overturn their desks and practice in case of a monster attack. Half an hour? Exactly. For Lux, it had been a long day. Not only was Maya in one of her moods, but also their regular teacher, Mr. Garside, had been off sick with a stomach bug. In his absence, Lux and his classmates had suffered through yet another day of grumpy Mr. Winter. And now, just 5 minutes from the bell, when they'd all been about to go home, Mr. Winter had announced a monster drill. Even Lux had to admit it was ice cold. Now remember, children, said Mr. Winter crisply, standing with his hands on his hips. What's the most important thing to do during a monster drill? The kids replied as one. Don't panic. Louder! Don't panic. Mr. Winter walked up and down the line of tables. I hope everyone's safely tucked away. He nudged a pair of boots at his feet, prompting a small girl to shuffle backwards. These monsters all have excellent eyes, you know. They can see a child from over a mile away. Lux and Maya backed up against the wall. Does he think we haven't done this before? Whispered Maya irritably. She was right. Lux could recall 12 monster drills that year and more the previous. To most of his classmates, they were a complete waste of time. But Lux knew better. Indeed, the last time a monster had crashed into town, a slathering, 3-headed Cerberus as big as a house, Lux had lost both his parents and his sister. Even the Light Hunters had been unable to save them. Still, why their teachers considered it vital to practice a monster drill every single month, Lux had no idea. Especially not, he thought, at 5 to 3 on a Friday afternoon. Maya took a pair of metal compasses out of her back pocket and started to scratch absently at the table leg. Are we still set for tonight? Shh, said Lux, looking quickly at Mr. Winter. Don't worry, you can't hear us. Yes, but someone else might. Maya looked at the boy under the table with them, who was staring curiously at the rubber end of a pencil, as if it might turn into a cat. She gave Lux a have I made my point look. Seriously, are we all set? Yes, Lux sighed. I've nicked those black jumpers off the other girls at the orphanage. We should be able to sneak in. The library won't know us hit it. We're not gonna hit it, said Lux, frowning. Look, Maya, if you can't take this serious... Maya sat up straight. I can. I want to come, especially if it's really there. I said I think it'll be there. That'll do. You'll have to be sensible, warned Lux. Maya spread her arms, elbowing the boy with the pencil. Sensible's my middle name. Numpty, more like, thought Lux affectionately. He caught his reflection in the classroom door window. His messy mouse-blonde hair hung around his ears, and he had dark bags under his blue-green eyes. Lux had stayed up late the past few evenings, long after his grandpa and the old man's live-in carer, Miss Hart, had gone to bed, planning his and Maya's mission into the town library. This one was important. He had to get it right. Lux blinked. Mr. Winter had returned from the other end of the classroom and was crouching in front of them. Yes, sir? Lux Dowd, are you with us? Yes, sir, I'm with you. Are you sure? Because for a minute there I thought you'd seen a monster. Only you, sir. Maya giggled. Fortunately, Mr. Winter seemed to have missed Lux's joke. He looked at Maya with a confused expression, then back at Lux sternly. Have you two remembered it's a test next week? We can't wait, sir, said Lux. Is that right? Mr. Winter held Lux's innocent gaze. Then he saw Maya's carving in the table leg. His brow furrowed. Who did this? Lux and Maya didn't respond. I'll ask again. Who did it? Mr. Winter pointed at the table leg. Lux turned so he could see. Carved messily into the wood were 2 words and a symbol. Light Hunters. Love heart. Who was it? Lux looked at Maya, whose eyes were wide, panicked. Maya, said Mr. Winter, I've warned you 3 times today about your behaviour. This seems like just the kind of thing you do. Maya said nothing. The headmistress takes graffiti very seriously. If she found out a student had been carving light hunters into one of her tables, she'd be extremely unhappy. If I was responsible, I'd own up now. Better a detention with me at the school play this evening than a visit to the head's office. Lux looked again at Maya, who was rigid with fear. She'd been in trouble so often that year that the owner of an orphanage, Mrs. Piper, had threatened to ground her if she got in trouble again. Lux took a deep breath. It was me, sir. Mr. Winter looked at Lux. You? Yes, sir. You? Yes, sir. Mr. Winter studied the carving. You've clearly been spending too much time with this one. He nodded at Maya. I've expected it from her, but not you. Sorry, sir. Mr. Winter chewed his lip absently as he considered what to do. Well, seeing as it's a one-off, I'll let you off a detention, but if I see anything like this again, you'll be in big trouble. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Get some sandpaper out of my desk drawer. You're not going anywhere until that's gone. Mr. Winter fixed Lux with a final, disappointed stare and continued down the line of tables. Lux breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, said Maya. You owe me, said Lux irritably. Why did you do that anyway? He ran his fingertips over the carving in the table leg. You know what people think about light around here? I don't care, said Maya bluntly. My friend's uncle says he knew one of the light hunters. He said they were never as bad as everyone says. I think the whole hate-lifting light hunters thing's baloney anyway. Maybe if we weren't so mean and horrible to them in this town and we let them defend us, we wouldn't have to keep doing monster drills every 10 minutes. Speaking of which, Maya tapped her watch impatiently. Class ended 10 minutes ago. Be happy you're not here all night, said Lux. Maya elbowed him in the ribs, but Lux didn't feel it. His attention was focused on the words she'd carved into the table. He traced them in his mind, recalling everything he'd learned about the light hunters from the secret books he kept in his wardrobe, and he smiled. Okay, so that's chapter 1 of The Light Hunters, my new book. It's available in Waterstones and Amazon and Smiths and independent bookshops around the country and all those little places we like to buy them from. I'd love you to grab a copy, let me know what you think, and hope to hear from you soon. Take care, bye-bye.